of time not long ago when there were many people in the United States that were at or near or below the poverty line, but they raised their own food or they worked on farms and were paid in food. People were poor, but they were not hungry.
There's a huge groundswell of interest in people wanting to farm and garden and grow food for themselves, and a lot of people just have forgotten. I think we have that wisdom in us, but it's been forgotten, and people are asking, how do we do this? You know, how do we grow our own food again, like we used to do?
Our mission really is to make locally grown, regionally grown, sustainably grown agricultural products available to everybody.
We need to have people growing their own food, connecting back to the earth, connecting back to a healthy environment. We have land that's not being used for anything right now. Why can't we put that into growing food for people who need it?
We believe that all citizens have to have access to this and participate in the food system. It's the only thing that makes this type of a food system viable.
Food desert to me is an area where people live, there's lots and lots of dwellings, but no food being produced. There are food deserts, we all know that. So what's happening in urban agriculture, is that those food deserts are being addressed by people. And I think what Wholesome Wave is doing, helping people recreate food systems in urban areas, that's really exciting me. And I'm truly inspired by that.
When we look at neighborhoods like Bridgeport, the area around the health department, it's blown out factory building, demolished factory building, asphalt, railroad trestle, the health department. We look at those areas as perfect places to establish urban farming.
If you live in an inner city, it's usually the bodegas or a grocery store that you get your stuff from. They're not used to having a farm stand right in their neighborhood. And people are really excited when they come in here.
What we found with our programming is that it works everywhere. Small community, big community, single operator farm stand, multi-operator farmers market. And whether it's an urban community, a rural community, a refugee community, people in these communities come out and they respond to the program and they buy fresh fruits and vegetables for their family.
Really, between Wholesome Waves and the health department, they've really just gone out, well, you see what we have here. And that's all due to them. I can do the farm part of it. I can set the market up nicely, but I can't do the outreach that they have done to make this happen. They've been just really fantastic.
I think it's a model that's really working. Change is actually happening here, and it's becoming a better place to live for everybody.
I think the most successful ones are the grassroots efforts that happen on their own when the community itself decides that it wants to do this, acknowledging that that's a very important piece of having a peaceful, safe, healthy community.
We're most known for our double value coupon program. It's the most popular because it just has such a great impact when we go into communities.
It gives the consumer and again, all of our constituents that live in Bridgeport an opportunity to double their food values. And so we're very excited about the program, and we're seeing that it's really paying off, and it's being well received by all of our constituents here in the downtown.
The farmers market has been incredible in bringing fresh food to a neighborhood that has no supermarkets at all. We also use the produce for the people who live here to give it to people. When they work in the garden with sweat equity, they get some of the produce.
This enormous interest in not only the garden, but in the produce that gets sold at the farmers market, and by taking advantage of the double coupon system, they're getting more of it.
But we also use it at our kitchen. The kitchen at Billings Forge is actually a job training cafe that's teaching culinary arts to people, and we also teach cooking classes and nutrition classes to kids and adults here.
Because very often people in urban areas who haven't been used to buying fresh produce don't really remember how to cook it.
And not only that, we're about food, so it's educating people about food and just a better quality of life.
What I saw yesterday at Billings Forge in Hartford was inspiring. I saw children playing in this green area, just the way a village should be. So I'm seeing the big picture returning. It's really just wisdom sharing again. But it clearly was, there was something very special going on there. It was magic.
Everywhere we've been able to deploy the program in Connecticut, it's contributed significantly to the lives of many. We've seen it at Buildings Forge this year. We're seeing it up at Urban Oaks in Bridgeport.
All you have to do is stand in line over there and talk to many of our seniors who would have to take 2 and 3 different buses to get to a store. This has been a food desert for too long.
Over 40 million people now are on some form of food assistance benefit.
It's been very difficult for underserved communities to touch fresh food.
The people that are eligible for these programs are people that are already involved in some kind of federally funded food assistance program.
Having such a large population that it's poor in this neighborhood, a lot of people are on food stamps or WIC coupons. It's just a great way to help the people in the neighborhood, and that's our mission statement, is to help the people of the neighborhood and the communities.
And the kids are starting to become more involved in a nutrition program. And so they say, Mommy, let's get some peaches, or Mommy, let's get this because it's really good for us. And so it's really fun to watch the kids and interact with the farmers and just being in the nutrition program.
Yeah, we go to a piece of asphalt with a little bit of a dream and a great idea, a little bit of funding and a couple of really dedicated volunteers and employees, and you plant that seed and things grow, and it's really amazing to watch. I get out of this work a really great sense of accomplishment because we see the programs working. I get a sense that my mom was right, that everybody should have an opportunity to sit at the same table and break the same bread and have access to the same food, that it defines us all. And if you don't have that, something's going to be missing from life.
And you can reach out to organizations like Wholesome Wave who are trying to recreate little oases in an area that might not otherwise be perceived as food producing. So it's happening.
Wholesome Wave, wholesome food, a wholesome city. It all goes together, and we could not have done this without Wholesome Wave. They put their money where their mouth is. The fact that our people can get the best deal in the state of Connecticut on fresh produce is very important to me as a mayor. It's very important to our people.
It's all about neighborhood. We have to restore that American neighborliness that used to define us to the rest of the world. And stuff like this can make that happen.
How to grow your own food and put food on the shelves is a real sense of security.